This video is about the process of diffusion. To make things simple, diffusion is just the process where you have something moving from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. If we're looking at this picture, you can see the person has a little eyedropper with some food coloring in it. They put a drop of the food coloring into a beaker of water, and over time, that food coloring ends up distributing itself throughout the entire beaker. So in the beginning, it's in one sort of dense pack of food coloring. It'll be much darker in color here, and then eventually it starts to naturally diffuse. It starts to move within the beaker until eventually it's all evenly spaced throughout the water that's in there. This is a natural process. You wouldn't have to stir the water, you wouldn't have to do anything in order to make this happen. The key term to know with diffusion is this one. It's called equilibrium. At this point, there's equal space between all of the molecules, and even though there is still some molecular movement between these things, it's going to be pretty much like neutral. Like at this point, there'll be just as many di molecules moving one way as the other, and it'll all look pretty much even all the time. So the word equilibrium is one of these nice science terms where it has like the definition kind of built in there for you. It's when everything is equal. There are a few things that will actually speed up diffusion that are good to know. One of them is temperature. So the warmer the water is, the faster the process of diffusion will happen. You've seen this firsthand if you've done something like dissolved, say, sugar in a glass of hot tea as opposed to a glass of iced tea. Especially if the iced tea is very cold, like if it has ice in it, then at that point it's going to take a long time for some of that sugar to dissolve, whereas in a hot drink it'll dissolve much faster. So the idea of diffusion is just speeding up that process because the water molecules are moving a little bit faster. The key to this, though, is remembering that it's just the movement of some kind of substance from high concentration to low concentration. Unlike osmosis, diffusion can apply to basically anything. Remember, osmosis is just the movement of water. For diffusion, it could be the food coloring, like in our example up here. It could be the idea of dissolving salt, dissolving sugar. Anything like that would apply to this one. There are a few different types of diffusion that we'll get to when it comes to the cell, but we're actually going to cover that stuff separately in a video on the cell membrane and on ways that things enter and leave the cell. If you know some of the factors that affect it and the idea that it's moving from high concentration to low concentration, that's what we're looking for. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in class.